Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to completely demystify artificial intelligence. Look, if the phrase AI instantly brings to mind those sci-fi movies with glowing red robot eyes and a sense of impending doom, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating presentation by educator and researcher Yang Shen. We're looking at how AI is actually being used right now in education. So we're going to strip away all that science fiction and just look at the highly practical, everyday reality of this tech.
Think about it like this. What if AI wasn't a terrifying, world-dominating supercomputer, but just a really, really patient fitness coach for your voice? Honestly, that's the mindset shift we're making today. Because when we change our perspective from an all-knowing robot to just a specialized digital coach, the whole concept of AI becomes incredibly approachable.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Demystifying Narrow AI and the Power of Focus. To understand our digital coach, we first need to understand the playing field. There's a huge difference in how we talk about AI. On one hand, you have general AI. Think of this as the mythical Swiss Army knife. This is the sci-fi version, right? A machine that tries to think, reason, and do absolutely everything a human can do. But on the other hand, we have our reality today, which is narrow AI. If general AI is a Swiss Army knife, narrow AI is a precision scalpel. It doesn't try to cook your dinner, drive your car, and write a symphony all at once. It just does one specific thing, and it does it exceptionally well. So, just to lock this in, here is the formal definition from our source material. Narrow AI is AI that performs one specific type of task, like speech recognition, rather than acting as a general intelligence. It basically takes the massive, broad idea of AI and funnels it way down into a highly specific educational task. It's a specialist, not a know-it-all. It's kind of like a master chef who only bakes bread, but bakes literally the best bread in the entire world.
Moving along to Section 2, meet your pronunciation trainer. Introducing ELSA Speak.
Let's look at how this builds into a very concrete, real-world application. Meet ELSA Speak, which actually stands for English Language Speech Assistant. This is positioned purely as an AI-powered English learning app for speaking, pronunciation, and fluency. It is the perfect example of narrow AI. It's not trying to write creative essays for you. It's acting like a smart mirror for your voice. It's designed purely to help learners practice spoken English with instant feedback, whether that's in individual practice, classroom tasks, or just doing homework. Which brings us to Section 3, the AI learning loop, the mechanics of improvement. So how does a tool like this actually help a student improve? Well, it all comes down to a really specific repetitive cycle, this beautifully simple 4-step process called the AI learning loop. Step 1 is input, where the student speaks or records audio. Step 2 is AI analysis, where the tech checks the speech for key features. Step 3 is feedback, giving the learner direct corrections and scores. And finally, Step 4 is practice, where the student repeats and improves. Think of this exactly like hitting a tennis ball against a brick wall. The wall instantly tells you the exact angle of your swing by how the ball bounces back, so you can adjust your grip the very next time you hit it. You speak, it analyzes, it guides, and you repeat. Now, to make that loop genuinely effective, the app creates a highly sensory multimedia experience. Students listen to an audio model of the target pronunciation. Then they use voice recording to speak. Next comes visual feedback, and this is super cool. They actually see the sounds they need to improve right there on their screen. They get a speaking score to track progress over time, and it's all wrapped up in these interactive, bite-sized tasks. The true value here isn't just the flashy tech. It's that active, continuous loop. Listen, speak, see the feedback, repeat. So how does this all fit into the real world? Let's check out Section 4, Inside the Real Classroom, the head coach and the batting machine. I absolutely love this comparison from the source material. On one side, you have the AI acting as the batting machine. Its job is instant feedback, endless repetitive drills, and offering a totally private space for practice. The batting machine literally never gets tired. But on the other side, you have the human teacher acting as the head coach. See, the machine doesn't know why you're playing the game. The head coach is the one who sets the objectives, creates the strategy, and guides real, meaningful communication. They definitely don't compete. They just divide the labor perfectly. Here is what that actually looks like on a practical timeline for a typical 40-minute teaching session. Let's say on a topic like introducing yourself in English. Before class, the teacher assigns a short AI pronunciation task. During class, students practice those phrases with the AI, and then, and this is crucial, they put their devices down and do peer talk. introducing themselves to a real human partner. Finally, after class, they use the AI to repeat the practice and submit a reflection. The AI practice is just seamlessly wrapped around actual human connection.
Let's look at Section 5, Benefits and Limitations, the Safe Practice Zone. Let's start with the benefits because they are massive for language learners. Beyond just getting way more practice time and instant feedback at your own personalized pace, look at that second point. Lower speaking anxiety in a private setting. We've all been there, right? Trying to pronounce completely new, difficult words in a room full of your peers is terrifying. The AI provides this private, completely judgment-free zone. A student can mess up a word 20 times in a row, and they never have to feel embarrassed. And because of that huge drop in anxiety, our source material highlights this incredible transformation. Students move from silent learning to active speaking practice. When you remove that fear of making mistakes in public by using a private digital coach, the student finally feels safe enough to find their voice. But we do have to be objective here. The presentation is very clear about the limitations and the absolute need for responsible use. This is not a full teacher replacement, not by a long shot. Narrow AI completely lacks any understanding of human emotions, motivation, or cultural context. And technically speaking, speech recognition can still struggle with heavy accents or background noise. Plus, schools really have to carefully manage things like device access, data privacy, and getting parental consent. The batting machine is great, for sure, but just like a real machine, it doesn't know why you are playing the game, and it definitely can't cheer you on when you're having a bad day. Which leads us to Section 6, the perfect human-AI synergy, building the ultimate team. Here is the ultimate formula for success outlined in the presentation. Best practice requires all three of these pillars. The AI coach handling the mechanics, the human teacher guiding the strategy and bringing the empathy, and peer communication providing the actual human connection that makes learning a language worth it in the first place. If you pull out any one of these pillars, the whole ecosystem just falls apart. So the absolutely crucial point is captured right here. If you remember only one thing from this entire explainer today, let it be this dichotomy. AI supports practice. Teachers support meaning. Narrow AI is phenomenal at those repetitive mechanical drills that build muscle memory in our vocal cords, but it takes a real, living human being to inject purpose, context, and meaning into those words. Which leaves us with this final, really powerful question to ponder. If AI can now step in to handle the repetitive, mechanical practice in our lives, whether that's language learning or literally any other task, how will you use your newly freed up time to create meaning? It's something to definitely think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer on narrow AI, and I'll catch you next time.